What if I told you that right now, today, there is one simple daily habit that could protect your brain for years to come? Not a drug, not a surgery, not an expensive supplement. One habit. And according to the National Institutes of Health, most people over 60 are not doing it. That is the truth that brought me here today. Stay until the end because what I am about to share with you completely changed how I help my patients protect their minds after 60. Welcome back to Senior Health Secrets Over 60. I am Dr. Jessica Reed. If you are new here, I am so glad you found this channel. Please hit that subscribe button right now and tap the bell so you never miss a video. Because every single week, I bring you the real information your health depends on. Today, we are talking about your brain and one powerful daily habit that science says may cut your risk of dementia significantly. This is one of the most important videos I have made this year. So let us get right into it. Here is something I want you to think about. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Or struggled to recall a name that used to come to you so easily? Maybe you have noticed it is getting harder to focus or remember details the way you used to. If any of that sounds familiar, you are not alone, and you are not imagining it. These are real changes that happen in the brain as we get older. But here is what most people do not know. Many of these changes are not inevitable. Many of them can be slowed down or even prevented, and the research proves it. According to the World Health Organization, around 55 million people worldwide are currently living with dementia, and that number is expected to triple by the year 2050. The CDC reports that Alzheimer's disease, which is the most common form of dementia, affects more than 6 million Americans right now. Most of them are over 65. But here is the part that really matters. Scientists now believe that changes in the brain that lead to dementia can begin 20 years before any symptoms appear. That means what you do in your 60s matters enormously. The choices you make right now are either protecting your brain or quietly putting it at risk. I know how scary that sounds, and I also know how overwhelming it can feel to hear this kind of news. But I want you to know something. You are not powerless. Far from it. In fact, you have more control over your brain health than most doctors ever tell their patients. And I have seen this firsthand over 15 years of practicing medicine. I have worked with thousands of seniors just like you. People in their 60s and 70s who were worried about their memory. And I have watched so many of them turn things around simply by making one consistent daily change. But here is what most doctors will never tell you. The habit I am about to describe is free, it is proven, and almost no one is doing it enough. So let us talk about it. The habit is walking. Specifically, a daily walk of at least 30 minutes. Now, before you think this sounds too simple or you have already heard this before, I want you to stay right here, because what the science says about walking and your brain is truly remarkable. And I am going to give you the full picture, not just a quick mention, the real explanation of why this works, how much you need, and exactly how to do it. So let us go through this point by point. Number 1, walking actually grows your brain. I know that sounds impossible, but it is true. Your brain has a region called the hippocampus. This is the memory center. It is where your brain stores and retrieves memories. And as we age, this part of the brain naturally shrinks. That shrinking is directly linked to memory loss and a higher risk of dementia. But here is the incredible part. A landmark study published through the NIH found that older adults who walked regularly for 1 year actually increased the size of their hippocampus by 2%. 2% does not sound like much until you understand that the normal aging process causes the hippocampus to shrink by about 1 to 2% every year. So walking did not just stop the shrinkage, it actually reversed it. That is the power we are talking about. Walking is one of the few things on Earth that can physically rebuild a part of your brain that dementia attacks first. I had a patient named Dorothy. She came to me at age 67 very worried about her memory. She was forgetting appointments. She could not recall words mid-sentence. She was embarrassed and frightened. I told her about the research on walking. She was skeptical. She told me she had knee pain and did not think she could do much. We started her on just 10 minutes a day around her neighborhood. Slowly, she built up to 20, then 30 minutes. 6 months later, Dorothy told me something that made me emotional. She said her grandchildren had noticed she seemed sharper. She was finishing her crossword puzzles again. She felt like herself. Walking did not just help her brain, it gave her confidence back. But that is only the beginning, because number 2 is something that most people have never heard before, and it will change the way you think about your daily walk. Number 2, walking reduces brain inflammation. This is a big one. Researchers now believe that chronic, low-grade inflammation in the brain is one of the leading drivers of dementia and cognitive decline. According to research supported by the NIH, this kind of inflammation builds up quietly over years. You cannot feel it, you cannot see it, but it is slowly damaging brain cells and the connections between them. Here is where walking comes in. Physical activity like walking has been shown to reduce levels of inflammatory markers in the body and in the brain. It helps your body produce natural anti-inflammatory compounds. It also reduces levels of a stress hormone called cortisol. Elevated cortisol over long periods of time is directly linked to memory problems and accelerated brain aging. So when you walk, you are not just getting fresh air. You are actively fighting the inflammation that is working against your brain every single day. One of my patients, a retired teacher named Gerald, came to me at 71 feeling foggy all the time. He called it brain fog. He had trouble concentrating and felt mentally exhausted by noon. When I explained to him that inflammation might be affecting his brain, he immediately wanted to know what he could do. We worked together on a morning walk routine. Within 3 months, Gerald told me the fog was lifting. He was reading more, sleeping better, and his energy in the afternoon had completely come back. He was amazed that something so simple had made such a difference, and I was not surprised at all, because the research backs this up completely. But wait until you hear number 3, because this one involves something happening inside your brain while you walk that most people would never believe. Number 3. Walking boosts a brain chemical called BDNF. Now, do not let that acronym scare you. BDNF stands for Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor. Think of it as Miracle-Grow for your brain. BDNF is a protein that your brain produces, and it does something extraordinary. It helps brain cells grow, connect, and survive. It literally helps your brain build new pathways and maintain the ones you already have. According to research from the NIH, aerobic exercise like brisk walking is one of the most powerful ways to boost BDNF levels in humans. And here is the problem. As we age, BDNF levels naturally drop. Lower BDNF is directly associated with increased risk of Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. So when you walk briskly, you are triggering your brain to produce more of this protective compound. You are feeding your brain cells what they need to stay healthy and strong. This is not a theory. This is measurable. Scientists can detect the increase in BDNF after a single bout of aerobic exercise. My patient Helen, age 69, had a family history of Alzheimer's. Her mother had it. Her aunt had it. She came to me terrified that she was next. I cannot promise anyone they will never get dementia. No doctor can. But I told Helen that she had real power to lower her risk. We focused on daily brisk walks. Not intense, not painful, just consistent, purposeful walking at a pace where she could talk but felt slightly breathless. Within a few months, Helen told me she felt more mentally alert than she had in years. She started a walking group in her neighborhood. She found community and connection. And she stopped living in fear. That is the power of knowledge. But that is not even the most surprising part of this story, because number 4 involves something that happens in your brain at night that is directly connected to your daily walk. Before I continue, if this information is helping you today, please take 2 seconds and hit that like button right now. It helps me reach more seniors who need this information. And if you have a friend or a parent over 60 who is worried about their memory, please share this video with them right now. It could truly make a difference in their life. Number 4, walking dramatically improves your sleep, and sleep is when your brain cleans itself. This is one of the most exciting discoveries in brain science in recent years. Your brain has a built-in cleaning system called the glymphatic system, and it only fully activates while you sleep. During deep sleep, this system flushes out toxic waste products that build up in the brain during the day. One of those toxic waste products is a protein called amyloid beta. Amyloid plaques are one of the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. So if you are not sleeping deeply enough, your brain is not cleaning itself properly. Toxic waste builds up, and over years, that buildup contributes to dementia. Now here is where your daily walk connects directly. According to the CDC and the American Heart Association, regular, moderate physical activity like walking is one of the most effective ways to improve sleep quality in older adults. People who walk regularly fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and spend more time in the deep, restorative stages of sleep where the brain cleaning happens. This means your walk during the day is directly helping your brain clean itself at night. A patient of mine named Walter, age 72, told me he had not slept well in years. He was waking up 3 or 4 times a night. He felt mentally dull during the day and was worried about his memory. When I explained the connection between sleep and brain health, he was shocked. He had never heard this before. We added a 30-minute afternoon walk to his routine. Within 6 weeks, Walter told me he was sleeping through the night for the first time in years. His mind felt sharper. His mood was better. He told me it felt like someone had turned the lights back on in his brain. But there is one more piece of this story that most people overlook completely. And number 5 is something you can start doing on your very next walk to multiply the brain benefits even further. Number 5, the social side of walking may double the brain protection. Science is showing us that social connection is one of the most powerful protectors of brain health as we age. According to the NIH, loneliness and social isolation are associated with a significantly higher risk of dementia in older adults. Some research suggests the risk increase may be as high as 50%. When you combine regular walking with social interaction, you are giving your brain 2 powerful forms of stimulation at the same time: physical movement and meaningful connection. When you chat with someone while you walk, your brain is multitasking in a healthy way. You are exercising your memory, your language centers, your emotional processing, and your cardiovascular system all at once. Walking with a friend, a spouse, or a neighbor is not just more enjoyable. It is literally more protective for your brain. One of my patients, a wonderful woman named Shirley, age 66, was living alone after her husband passed away. She had become isolated and was noticing real memory lapses. I encouraged her to join a walking group at her local community center. She was nervous at first, but she went. Within 2 months, Shirley told me she felt like a new person. She had made 3 new friends. She was laughing again, and her memory complaints had significantly reduced. The combination of movement and connection had done something no medication could replicate. And that leads me to number 6, which is the final piece of the puzzle, and perhaps the most important one. Number 6, consistency matters more than intensity. This is the message I want every single one of my patients over 60 to truly understand. You do not need to run. You do not need to go to a gym. You do not need to break a sweat. What the research shows is that the brain benefits of walking come from doing it regularly and consistently. A study supported by the NIH found that older adults who walked at least 7,500 steps per day showed significantly slower cognitive decline compared to those who walked less. That is roughly 3 to 4 miles. But before that number intimidates you, understand this: you can build up to it slowly. Even starting with 10 or 15 minutes a day has measurable brain benefits. The key is that you do it every day, or as close to every day as possible. Your brain responds to the habit. It is the consistent signal of daily movement that triggers the production of BDNF, reduces inflammation, improves sleep, and protects your hippocampus over the long term. My patient Robert, age 74, told me he could only walk for about 8 minutes before his hips started to hurt. I told him that was perfectly fine. Start with 8 minutes. Walk to the end of the block and back, then to the next block, then around the park. Over 4 months, Robert went from 8 minutes to 25 minutes a day. He told me his brain felt clearer than it had in a decade. Small steps truly do lead to big changes. And everything I have shared with you today leads to one clear question. What do you do now? Let me give you a simple and honest answer. Here is exactly what you need to do starting today. First, commit to a daily walk of whatever length you can manage right now. Even 5 or 10 minutes is a starting point. The goal is to build to 30 minutes most days of the week. Do not compare yourself to anyone else. Just start where you are. Second, make your walk brisk enough that you feel slightly breathless but can still hold a conversation. This is the level of effort where BDNF production is maximized. You do not need to push yourself hard. Just move with intention. Third, try to walk at the same time each day. Morning walks are particularly powerful because they also help set your body clock, which improves your sleep quality at night. Remember number 4, better sleep means better brain cleaning. Fourth, whenever possible, bring a friend, a spouse, or a neighbor. If you do not have someone nearby, consider a local walking group. Many community centers, churches, and parks offer free walking programs for seniors. The social connection multiplies the brain benefit. Fifth, do not let bad weather or a skipped day defeat you. If it rains, walk in a mall, walk in your home, walk in place. The habit matters more than the location. Missing one day does not undo your progress. Just get back out there the next day. Sixth, track your walks. Even a simple notebook on your kitchen counter works. Write down how long you walked each day. This small act of tracking creates accountability and gives you a powerful sense of accomplishment. You are taking care of your brain, and that deserves recognition. You have heard a lot today, so let me bring it all together for you. We covered 6 powerful reasons why your daily walk is one of the best things you can do for your brain after 60. Walking grows your hippocampus, the memory center of your brain. It reduces brain inflammation that silently damages brain cells over time. It boosts BDNF, the brain chemical that keeps your neurons healthy and connected. It improves your deep sleep, which allows your brain to clean out the toxic proteins linked to Alzheimer's. It amplifies brain protection when combined with social connection, and it works best when done consistently rather than intensely. You do not need a perfect body, or a gym membership, or a lot of money. You need a good pair of shoes and the decision to start. I want you to know something from the bottom of my heart. Your brain health is not out of your hands. It is not determined entirely by your genetics or your age. The decisions you make every single day are shaping the future of your mind, and you have the power to make those decisions work for you starting today. I have seen it happen hundreds of times in my years of practice. People who were scared and frustrated about their memory, who found their way back to clarity and confidence through simple, consistent daily habits. You can be one of those people. Now I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below and tell me this. Do you already take daily walks? Or is this something you are going to start after watching today? I read every single comment, and your story may inspire someone else who really needs to hear it today. If this video helped you, please give it a like and make sure you are subscribed so you never miss a video. I put out new senior health content every week, and next time I am going to cover something that most doctors never warn their patients about: the hidden sleep habit that could be silently damaging your heart after 60. You will not want to miss that one. I am Dr. Jessica Reed, and I will see you in the next video. The information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult your doctor before making any changes to your health routine.